Hey guys, welcome back to Think Beautiful, the channel where I discuss the debacle that is this woman, Meghan Markle. And in today's show, I am going to talk about Meghan Markle's confessions of a liar because Meghan Markle has just lied her entire life and I think really ramped it up since the tick. I think from that point on, she's just gone so far down that road that she just doesn't know how to get out of it now. It is lie upon lie upon lie. Oh my goodness. But before we even get into that, before we even get into the actual topic, I have to say this because Meghan Markle consistently puts out content. Like she can't create content. She can't actually come up with a story or tell anything or put anything interesting out into the world. When I say she puts content out, I just mean she just puts images and just rubbish stories, okay? Because today we got this image on her Instagram page for her as ever Instagram, which hardly has any posts. It is just the most inactive brand website, or sorry, Instagram page on both. The website's even worse. Nothing goes on. Why are we even looking at it? Why would anyone want to be interested in this brand? It's basically dead in the water. Nothing's going on. It's so boring. I mean, put stuff out there, get us interested. Is this going to work? I don't think so. What is she doing? Literally, what is she doing? Can someone please tell me what is Meghan Markle even doing? Does she even know what this plant is or tree or whatever? What is she doing? Measuring it? Oh, it's going to be about this big. What is she doing? Is she even awake? Are her eyes even open? Oh, what is going on? It's just garbage. What is this? The only thing I'll give her some points for, okay, and I don't really want to give Meghan Markle even 1 point, but what she did do, the first time I've ever seen her do this, maybe she's done it before, but I don't remember because all she does is lie and plagiarize. The first time I've seen her actually recognize and reference the the author, the owner of this quote. Okay, so she put up this stupid picture of her with her hands on a bush. That doesn't sound great. Anyway, hopefully you guys are not just listening to the audio. You've actually got the image in front of you. Okay. Just touching a bush. Okay. Anyway, oh my gosh. It says, to plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow by Audrey Hepburn. Okay. Now I love Audrey Hepburn. First of all, how dare she use Audrey Hepburn in any of this? Do not drag Audrey Hepburn into this. Okay. You're not Audrey Hepburn. That is for certain. All right. We don't want to see a breakfast at Megan's. Oh my gosh, please. Please. If there are any references to breakfast at Tiffany's in any of her cooking show episodes, I'm going to die. That is going to be an absolute debacle, and I'm going to rip her if that is what's going to happen. Her with a croissant or something. Oh no, I shouldn't have even put it out into the world. Anyway, that is the first time she's ever referenced the person that deserves to be referenced. Honestly, she could not have ever gotten away with that because, unfortunately, as soon as Meghan Markle puts anything out into the world, an image, um, she's talking about something, there's a photo, her fashion, anything, if you want to call it fashion. The first thing everyone does, or certainly myself and others in the Megxit community, we just Google it. We get an image, we put it through Google, we figure it out, and it always comes up. Okay. This is driven by Meghan Markle herself because she plagiarizes constantly. Okay. She has brought this on herself. So there is no way she ever could have said that quote without putting Audrey Hepburn on there. She would have had to take the post down, honestly. It would have been such a debacle. But of course, I did Google it and it comes up 1,000,001 times. Okay. So she's obviously seen it on Etsy or something. I don't know. Or does she have one of those like inspirational quote books and just opens a random page and there you go, the gardening section. Okay. I found some other quotes though that I think she will use, and I don't think she's going to reference the author for these ones, because these ones are a little bit more ambiguous. She can probably get away with it. So I'm going to call these ones now. So if these do come up, and these are all gardening related, okay? We've got a gardening topic going on here for all of those that are into gardening. I'd love to do gardening. I don't have a garden, all right? I have some cactuses. They're not going too good, I'll be honest. And I've got a pot of sunflowers, which are amazing. They're my favorite. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with this show. No, it does actually. It does, because what it just shows is that everyone can garden. Everyone gets into gardening. She's nothing special. Okay. And this photo is certainly proving that, because there's not even a bloom on that thing. Like, what is she doing? Can someone please tell me? Anyway, these are some sayings I think she's going to absolutely rip and make them her own in some way, shape, or form. Okay. The first one is, and she might mix these around and I don't know, Markleize it, Meganize it. Life begins the day you start a garden. I reckon she's going to use that. Don't you think? Because, she's just moved, well, 5 years ago, but they always say they've just moved. Um, and she started a garden. She got a garden and it was just like, oh, I can breathe. And the life begins the day you start a garden. I don't think she'll care that it is a Chinese proverb. She couldn't care less. That's not someone's name. She can rip that. She'll put a Meghan Markle underneath that one for sure. That's my first one. And yeah, the Chinese won't be too happy about that. Second one, I think she will completely rip is, we might think we are nurturing our garden, but of course, it's our garden that is really nurturing us. Now, I don't know who Jenny Uglo is. I don't know. I can only assume she's not anyone really big. Tell me if I'm wrong. I've never heard of her. That doesn't mean anything though. Okay, I'm a nobody as well. But I think she will probably switch some of those words around. It's probably a bit, you could probably get it better than that. Sorry, Jenny, but I do think she's going to say something along those lines. So I'm calling that one now as well, and one more, because otherwise you guys are you're gonna tune off. This is going to be too boring. This one here, a flower does not think of competing with the flower next to it. It just blooms. I bet she's going to use this, and if she does, she's going to get ripped, because we all know she's always, never ends competing with Princess Catherine. So let's see if she pulls that one out and how quickly she gets ripped. That will be funny, actually. So I hope she does use that one. I'll get ready with my comeback immediately. Oh, all right, that's enough about gardening. That was the gardening segment. So thank you guys. Let's move on now. Okay, because we have to talk about Confessions of a Liar. Okay, or a female flounder. That's actually a good one. Female flounder. She did cook a fish with her besties in one of the episodes. Who were her besties? Good question. Abigail, Abby, and Kelly. Okay, so she cooked a fish. I don't remember what kind of fish it was. Let's just say it was a flounder. Covered it in salt because she's salty as. Anyway, let's get to this, because if you recall, in when was it? In April last year, Meghan Markle lied to us. I mean, she lied every single month, but just recall this particular lie, okay? I don't have time to go through all the lies, just this one. In April 2025, Meghan Markle came out and she was like, oh my gosh, I have to delay the Lemonada podcast. I said I had a new one coming out, but I have to delay it until next year. Okay. So this article came out. It's still up. You have to sift through Google now, because all her new stuff is obviously layered on top of it. But this one is still there. Why one of Meghan Markle's major projects is delayed until 2025. Now, she has lied about the reason she delayed this podcast, and I'm going to show you why I know this. Okay. So in this line here, immediately we knew it was a lie. The Duchess is just too booked and busy. Now, she's never been booked for anything. Okay. She books herself into things. She bullies people. She harasses people to get her way, to get her foot in the door, her big foot in the door. Um, and she's never too busy. She's a grifter. How can she be busy? She's not doing anything, literally nothing. Okay. So, yeah, we knew that was a lie already, but now we definitely know. So, This is what the article said. These are her reasons why one of Meghan Markle's projects will have to be placed onto the back burner until the near future in order to make room for her latest business ventures with a plural. Don't think so. Markle's new podcast that was set to be produced by female founded company Lemonada Media might not arrive until 2025, blah, 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 due to the imminent arrival of her lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard. Now, side note here, side note, okay, female founded company Lemonada Media. I think one of those girls is going to be on this podcast. Anyway, that's just a thought I just had when I read that. Anyway, she's saying, apart from being booked and too busy, she's saying, no, I can't do this Lemonada Media podcast right now in April 2024. I have to postpone it because I've got this ARO thing coming out and I've got to put all my attention onto this ARO. It is understood that Lemonada did not want the podcast launch to be overshadowed by the former actress's television cooking series, which she began filming at a rented house in Montecito last week. Lemonada also did not want there to be any potential scheduling conflicts with the launch of ARO. Okay, garbage, garbage. Okay. Why would you not want those two things to drop at the same time? Okay. Now, how do we know that that was all a lie? Apart from Meghan Markle is the biggest liar on the planet, okay, in every country she goes to. Because now we know the topic of this podcast. And this is the key. The topic of this podcast is the key to understanding why Meghan Markle is a complete liar. Okay, Confessions of a Liar. Because this podcast is about, let's just read this. So she navigates the world of entrepreneurship with the upcoming launch of her brand, blah, blah, blah. So Meghan sits down for candid conversations with female founders and friends about the success, the struggles, and the never before told stories of building a business. And basically, she is going to link all of these tips and tricks that they tell her, their confessions, she's going to link it back to her brand. Okay. This podcast, based on this information I have in front of me, this podcast is going to be a promotion for her lifestyle brand. So she's basically just spruiking her brand because it's all going to funnel back to her. So she'll listen to whoever she's going to listen to. Serena, the girl from Lemonada, one of the girls from Lemonada. Who else did I say? Jamie, Kern, Lima. I'm just guessing. All these people, she's going to let them tell like 5 minutes of their story, probably. They'll have to tell some silly old confession, who knows? And then she's going to be, oh, I can see how I can learn that trick from you. So I've learned how to use social media from this. In this episode, I learned how to use social media from this person and how I can use it for my brand. In this next episode, how I can choose products, what products are really good, how do I know what to choose? Oh, I've learned that from this episode and I'm going to apply it to my own brand. So every single episode is going to be about her brand. Now, in April last year, she didn't even know what her brand was going to be called. Okay. So I am calling her a liar because I believe, and I'm going to show you more information in a minute, I believe that she didn't even know or didn't have the confidence to say what her brand's name was going to be. Therefore, could not sit down with people and talk about her brand. Because how are you going to talk about it if you don't even know what it's going to be called? You might say, well, it was going to be called American Riviera Orchard. And I'm going to show you she didn't even know that at that point in time. In April 2024, she did not know for sure it was going to be called that. And imagine having to edit out every single time you say those three long words, right? It would be impossible to edit that out. I don't know how they did it with the Netflix show. They've highly edited that. There must have been some jam sitting on the bench somewhere and they've had to scrub it or cut it out or reshoot. I don't know. But yeah, that is the reason why I'm calling her a liar for this, because she was not too busy. It had nothing to do with her focus on ARO. She did not know it was going to be called ARO or whatever at that point in time. Now, I'm going to talk you through this slide because it is a bit of a mess, okay? Because Meghan Markle is a mess. So, of course, her trademark activity is also a mess, okay? Now, I've gone through her paperwork and I wanted to see something in more detail. I was looking for an overlap and I've got it. Okay, I finally found it and I'm so happy that I found it. So I want to share it with you guys, okay? So let me talk this through with you. There are basically three trademark applications she has had to get to this point, okay? So we have the As Ever, which was the original application, which is the one in blue. We then have the American Riviera Orchard, absolute rubbish, which is in green. We then have the pink one I've got there, which is As Ever 2.0. I'm just calling it 2.0. All right. And I'll explain what I think has happened here. All right. So just sit back and let me explain this because it is a mess. Okay. It is a mess. I'll do my best to explain this. So we have here the first entry here. So the blue As Ever on the left hand side there, October 2022, she applied for this trademark. Okay, ages ago, miles ago. Okay, we don't even remember October 2022. Okay, she was scheming way back then. All right. Um, then you can see, okay, so the stages are stage one is like, I've got the numbers on the left there. Stage one is like the application. As the points get bigger, she's moving through the application process. Okay, that's what I've tried to show there. Step two for this As Ever is the trademark office feedback. So she got feedback on her application, basically tells her what's wrong with it, what she needs to do, what admin she needs to fix, dot the I's, cross the T's, sign the document, because they never sign the documents, these guys. And then gives them another chance to resubmit, basically. Okay, so she got to that stage pretty easily. It did take a bit of time. They were a bit slack over there at the trademark office. Okay, I'll be honest, that's a pretty big gap. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Maybe a backlog from COVID, let's say. She then got to the third stage where she actually actioned the feedback. So you can see there the As Ever blue little point there got to the level 3, which is her actioning the feedback. So she did what she had to do. I'm not going to go into that in this video. I've done this before. I've done a deep dive on As Ever, the original version already. You guys can go back and look at that if you want to know what the feedback was and what she did. And it was all fine, basically. There was no huge issues at all. Yeah, that was really it. Um, okay, so she got it to that point. Then I think she started to realize I don't have enough money to back myself on this project. Okay, because we then started to see her out and about at all these kind of venture summits. Okay, there was one really kind of dodgy picture of her by herself, sitting by herself in a conference, and it was for some kind of investor conference. I don't remember what it exactly was, but this was about the time she was looking for people to invest in her. She doesn't want to use her own money for this, and she doesn't have any money, is the other thing. Okay, Harry's probably said nah, that's not happening. I'm not putting money into Jam. Okay, that's just not what I'm going to do. I don't know what he invests in, but maybe Jam is not his jam, if you want to say it like that. Anyway, she's obviously tried all her friends and they've just said nah. Okay, so I think she started to get worried at that point that this was going well. The trademark was going well. You can see it's increasing. That blue As Ever is increasing, but she did not have the funds. Okay. That is the point in time where I think she went crying to Netflix and said, wah, 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 this is not working out. Can you guys help me? You guys have got money. And then started to think they could tie it into the TV show and all of that stuff. Okay. Because then while this As Ever trademark is still progressing, okay, she then starts to go with ARO, okay, American Riviera Orchard. She applied for that trademark. You can see it right in the middle there, okay. She applied in March 2024 for that. Now, The other reason I know that that's when Netflix came into the picture is because the difference in her application from her original As Ever to her American Riviera Orchard application, it's not same for same. Okay, it's not just a name change. She took out anything to do with audio streaming, broadcasting, films, TV series, okay? Because she had it all in the original As Ever. She went she went through the roof. In that first application, she had everything on there. She was going to do TV shows, everything herself, okay? Could not get the backing, obviously has no money. Then I think she went to Netflix and they said, look, you need, if you're going to be with us, if we're going to help you on this, you need to take out all of that stuff, okay? Because we do that. We know what we're doing. You can rip all that out. That's nothing to do with you. We will do that. That's our end of the partnership. That's what we will bring to the table, our seat at the table. We will do that. So do your application and we will do all of that stuff, okay? So she resubmitted. For whatever reason, change the name. Maybe because I don't know. I don't know why she called it American Riviera Orchard. I can only speculate. But it's garbage and obviously was a bad idea. But I don't know. Really don't know. That's a big question mark for me. Anyone has any ideas of why she might have gone for that or changed the name? That's crazy. Because what she could have just done at that point, couldn't she just have couldn't she just have resubmitted the application as ever and not put any of the broadcasting and stuff in? Why did she change the name? Okay, because that name change was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Because then you can see in September, okay, now we're in September 2024, she got her office feedback, trademark office feedback back, and it was terrible. It was, this is not going to work. This is a geographic location. This is BS. You can't use this. It was way too hard. So she got absolutely um, annihilated by the trademark office. Okay. Now, just to go back one step, sorry, when she got that deal with Netflix and decided to go with them and resubmit her application under ARO in March 2024, that is when I think she realized, okay, I don't know if this is going to work. I can't do my podcast and say American Riviera Orchard if this has only just been submitted. Okay, because in April 2024 is when she said it's delayed. Okay, so that's what I think happened here. I think all the SHIT hit the fan and she panicked. And this graph shows panic, if you ask me, honestly. Anyway, so in September 2024, when the trademark office said ARO is a no go, basically, like it was way too hard. In that exact same month, and this is what I wanted to see the overlap, in that exact same month, she went, oh no, okay, what do I do? What do I do? This is not even going to work. She basically had no intention of even trying to rectify that. That was way too hard. Someone must have said, nah, the name change, it's too hard. How are you going to get around that? You're going to have to just change the name anyway. So she did. She changed the name back to As Ever, which she could have just done in the first place. Honestly, the ARO thing was just mind boggling. I don't even know what to say about that. So the As Ever 2.0 application went in the same month that the ARO got basically annihilated. All right, you can see that right there, clear as day. So As Ever 2.0, and now here we are in March 2025, and she's just got her feedback saying basically it's good to go. She's going to be fine. There's going to be no issues. This thing's gonna go through. Her issues are the logos maybe, but we don't know that yet. So yeah, you can see there the mess that she has created for herself. First of all, you can just see panic. It's just written all over that chart. 3 different applications. It's just insane. But there you go. You can clearly see that in April 2024, she had no idea what the brand was going to be called. That is why she has had to pull her podcast or delay her podcast until this thing had was sorted in any way, shape, or form. Complete mess. Because there's no way if you were a guest on her podcast and you'd already filmed it and you'd been speaking about American Riviera Orchard that you would go back and reshoot any of that. You would say, no, thank you. No, thank you. This is a joke. This has got all the red flags. No, thank you. I've got my money. I'm done. So there you go, guys. That is what I have looked at. That is what I have figured out about Meghan Markle. Confessions of a Liar. I'm really interested to see, is she going to talk about any of that in her podcast? Because if this is about confessions, that would tell me that you are going to be upfront, that you are going to be honest. Or is she going to have Jessica Alba on the show? Who knows? Is she going to be true and tell us what a debacle this has been? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the confessions are going to be from the guests saying something like, "Oh my gosh, I was so nervous," and she'll be like, "Oh my god, I didn't know you were so nervous. You didn't look nervous when you did that thing. Oh my god, I was so nervous." Like I think it's going to be like that. I think that's going to be the confession stuff like that. I didn't know what I was doing. I was yeah, just I bluffed my way, fake it till you make it or something, which is basically what Meghan Markle's been doing for her whole life. Fake it till you make it. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope that all made sense. If not, just watch it again. Just slow it down. Oh gosh, what a strange woman this is. Anyway, please like and subscribe. Please leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I love to read them all. And I will keep these videos coming. Thank you, guys. Bye.